1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Munib Ahmed. The headlines. Information Minister has urged the opposition to submit its suggestions for electoral reforms to hold the next general elections through electronic voting system. The federal government has postponed all examinations including Cambridge exams till 15th of June due to prevailing coronavirus situation in the country. National Command and Operations Center has decided to impose inter-provincial and inter-city travel ban during Eid holidays. Foreign Minister addressing the six-country foreign ministers video conference virtually today emphasized on joint cooperation in fight against COVID-19 pandemic. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Hurriyat leadership has urged the United Nations to impress upon Modi regime to release Kashmiri detainees languishing in different jails amid ongoing cycle of death and destruction in India. Human Rights Watch has called for establishing a United Nations Commission of Inquiry to probe into systematic discrimination and repression in Palestinian territories and Israel. And now the news in detail. Minister for Information and Broadcasting Chaudhry Fawad Hussain has urged the opposition to submit their suggestions for electoral reforms to hold the next general elections through electronic voting system. He was briefing media in Islamabad this afternoon about decisions taken by the federal cabinet, which met in the federal capital today, with Prime Minister Imran Khan in the chair. Chaudhry Fawad Hussain said Prime Minister's advisor on parliamentary affairs Dr. Babar Awan briefed the cabinet about electoral reforms and electronic voting machine. He said we want to move forward on electoral reforms with political consensus. Chaudhry Fawad Hussain said Prime Minister Imran Khan has written a letter to the Speaker National Assembly to engage the opposition on the subject matter. He said the Speaker has two written letters to the opposition leaders for their input on electoral voting system. Chaudhry Fawad Hussain said unfortunately the opposition has yet not come up with its suggestions for the electoral reforms. About latest COVID situation in the country, the Information Minister said around 5,000 patients suffering from coronavirus pandemic are in a critical condition, which is the highest number of COVID infectees as compared to the last two peaks of the contagion. The government has postponed all examinations including those of boards and the Cambridge system till June 15 in wake of COVID situation in the country. Addressing a press in Islamabad today, Minister for Education Shafqat Mahmood said from April 18 until now, the number of coronavirus cases has rapidly risen. Therefore, it has been decided to postpone all exams until June 15. Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Health Dr. Faisal Sultan says 1,200 COVID vaccination centers have been established across the country, including 22 mass centers with capacity of vaccination of 5,000 doses daily. Talking to media in Islamabad today, he said list of vaccination centers is available on the website of NCOC. These centers are open round the week except Friday, and vaccination is being conducted after iftar also. He said vaccines are being purchased from 3 different manufacturing companies, while the Chinese government has donated 1.7 million doses to Pakistan. National Command and Operations Center has decided to impose inter-provincial and inter-city travel ban during Eid holidays. According to a circular of the Interior Ministry, the NCOC, which met in Islamabad today, also decided to impose complete ban on tourism from 8th to 16th of next month, including the Eid holidays. It further states that tourist resorts, public parks, restaurants, and hotels in and around tourist spots as well as shopping malls will remain closed. It adds that travel modes leading to tourist spots will remain closed with special focus on Murree, Galyat, Sawat, Kalam, Seaview beaches and northern areas. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has emphasized on joint cooperation in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic and expanding the ambit to cover poverty alleviation and disaster relief. Addressing the six-country foreign ministers video conference virtually today, he said regional collaboration and multilateral cooperation are required for revival of our economies. Pakistan welcomes intensified cooperation between China and South Asian countries in these areas. He said China's South Asia Emergency Supplies Reserve would help all participating countries to better respond to health emergencies and natural disasters in the future. The foreign minister said South Asian countries are in the dire need of enhanced regional cooperation to ward off the pandemic and to lift their people out of poverty through this platform. Talking about Pakistan's economic vision, he said, "We shifted from geopolitics to geoeconomic and want to enhance regional cooperation and integration." This is Radio Pakistan. Minister for Energy Hamad Azhar says Pakistan has conducive environment for setting up a new oil refinery. He expressed these views in a meeting with Ambassador of Saudi Arabia Nawaf bin Saeed Al Maliki, who called on him in Islamabad today. Hamad Azhar said Pakistan and Saudi Arabia enjoy deep brethren relations based on shared faith, traditions and customs. Pak-Saudi bilateral cooperation in energy sector and the Prime Minister Imran Khan's forthcoming visit to Saudi Arabia also came under discussion in the meeting. On this occasion, Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Power and Petroleum, Tabish Gohar, briefed the ambassador about the proposed new oil refining policy. Azad Jammu and Kashmir President Sardar Masood Khan has stressed the need for converting struggle for right to self-determination into an international human rights movement to make the voice of Kashmiris more powerful. Talking to a joint delegation of International Forum for Justice and Pasbane Hurriyat in Muzaffarabad today, he said a joint platform of political leadership exists in the state and the same forum needs to be constituted at the national level. He said true sentiments of the Kashmiris for achieving the right to self-determination needs to be advocated by such forums at the international level. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference and other Hurriyat organizations have called upon the UN and Global Human Rights Watchdog to impress upon Narendra Modi-led regime to release thousands of Kashmiri detainees languishing in different jails amid the ongoing cycle of death and destruction in India. The APHC and other Hurriyat leaders or organizations in their separate statements issued in Srinagar questioned the logic of keeping the detainees in jails while the world has itself admitted that India has become an epicenter of the deadly virus. They pointed out that the detainees are at high risk at around 350,000 Indians are getting infected while more than 10,000 with the COVID-19 on daily basis. It urged the UN and global rights bodies to send a powerful team to assess the situation in IIOJK. World Health Organization has warned that COVID-19 crisis is worsening in India due to unnecessarily rush in hospitals, big gatherings, more contagious variants and low vaccination ratio. In a statement in Geneva, the WHO spokesman Tariq Jasarevic said that India's death toll is now pushing towards 200,000 while hospitals have not enough oxygen supplies. He said the WHO is providing critical equipment and supplies to India, including 4,000 oxygen concentrators. New York-based Human Rights Watch has urged the international community to re-evaluate its relationship with Israel and to establish a United Nations Commission of Inquiry to investigate systematic discrimination and repression in Israel and the Palestinian territories. In its comprehensive report, it also accused Israel of pursuing policies of persecution against Palestinians and its own Arab minority that amount to crimes against humanity. And finally, the weather. Hot and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, partly cloudy weather is expected in North Balochistan, upper and western parts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.